Aussie trucks are getting bigger and so are the ads. We've already seen the massive launch of the Kia Has-Been and laughed along to the Toyota divorce. Now Mitsubishi has gone bush bashing.
Hey Dad, what's that sound?
Triton mating call.
First 5-star ute tested to 2024 ANCAP.
Nothing can frighten a Triton.
Ooh, I think someone's about to get rear-ended. The Triton is falling down the list of Australia's favourite ute. Cam, will this seduce us?
I mean, the thing is, you had me at Nelly, right? Job done. I think that's kind of sets the tone from the outset that this spot is going to hit a little bit different. And that's exactly what Mitsubishi need to do as a challenger brand in the category to get noticed, because they can't outspend their competitors. So I think what they've done really well here is they've held on to the category conventions that matter. So you do see the utes kind of dominating the landscape, and they sneak a cheeky little product demo in there with the parking sensors. But they've set it to this like ridiculous storyline of two utes having a romance. They just had fun with it, which I think is quite joyous. And for me, the kind of icing on the cake is that last line. That, you know, just the off-the-cuff throwaway line, Triton mating call. It's just so random and so absurd. I absolutely love it.
Well, it's no good.
You don't like it, Russell? You don't like this ad?
Well, I just don't see...
two beautiful cars, little romance coming together.
We've said it a million times, right?
We've seen cars have sex a million times.
No, but what we've seen is driving shot, Outback soundtrack, right? We've seen it a million times. And if you're the creative people, it's like, oh, my God, we're going to have to give them the driving shot, the Outback and the soundtrack. They're going to have to do that. So what can we do? Or we need to try and find some sort of storyline. Now, this storyline, it only works if you actually make a genuine romance of the proposition around the beep, right? You have to actually make... The reason for the ad has got to be the beep, 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 beep.
Oh, you mean the cars get on each other?
Well, that's got to be the reason for the... Otherwise, what's the point of the commercial? Yeah. And yet, why am I going to buy this car, even put it on my consideration list, because I've heard that?
Do you think you have to, though? Because I think the trouble is they need to make safety sexy. In terms of, I know they want to talk up the ANCAP rating, but the reality is the top 3 selling utes all are kind of parity when it comes to safety specs. And so this can be a really client-led decision. It's like, this really matters to people. It actually doesn't, because it feels hygiene. Yeah. So I do think it's off strategy for the broader Triton positioning, because it is, that's the shame of it. It's you do have that fun line and then they go to...
But if you're winning, then have the tropes of the market. So if you're the winning brand, have the Outback, have the soundtrack, have the driving shots, if you're winning. If you're not winning, you actually have to convince your client, you know what, let's put up on the whiteboard all the things that everyone does. Outback, driving shots, soundtrack. In order to cut through, in order to get advertising that's going to work for you, we're not doing any of those things. Do you agree, client? And you've got to get them to agree to do that. Otherwise, really all you're doing is advertising the category. That ad just advertises the category. It doesn't... You don't leave that commercial knowing what the brand is.
And that's why I wonder whether it is that you take the client brief and it clearly was safety from this, and then I think the agency has a point of view on the type of work they want to make. And it is... And in terms of, you know, and then you try and make this, like, happy compromise. And so it does feel like it is that...
The agency's just come in going, look, we're starting with, we just want the cars to have sex. How can we get to that?
No.
Like, we just want to draw a giant dick and balls in the desert and then have the cars do it with each other. Yeah. What's your message? Safety? Yeah, we can put some beeps in at the end when the cars are doing it with each other. I've always watched Transformers and thought, I wish this was a porno. So what I would like to see is the cars have sex.
Clearly you've sat in a client meeting with me.
We heard the Triton's mating call, and when a mummy ute and a daddy ute love each other very much, we all know what happens next. Oh!